back there doing that again. So if you're seeing my screen, it would be something like 1/3/4 is 4/3. And that was kind of case one, where you just flip the bottom number, bottom fraction. Now, if there's a number up top, like it's -2/8/5, this becomes -2 times 5/8. You still flip it, but instead of it just being the flip of the bottom, you have to multiply. In this case, it's -10/8, or you reduce it down to -5/4. And I made the point that it's usually better to divide before multiplying. So like in this case, you would cancel out that and make a 4 on the bottom. The negative goes with the 5, -5/4, which obviously these are the same. And that was kind of case 2-ish. The next one that you could see is, let's say it was like 2/3/9, like this. This number actually just comes right down here on the bottom. And the reason is you're literally multiplying the top and bottom by the reciprocal. So on the bottom, if we just look at the bottom here, you get 9/9, which equals 1. Anything over 1 is whatever's on top. And see how that 9 goes with the 3, 2/27. So the shortcut here that I want you to be able to do is just right there, just say, okay, it's 2/3 times 9, which is 27. And that's like case 3. You don't need to know that they're cases, but I want you to see that there's only a few. You don't have to, there's not so many that you can't know them all, but you don't need to remember them. You don't need to remember, oh, it's a case 1 or case 2. You just need to remember what to do when you see something. And then the most general case is if I give you something like 5/4 over -8/15, okay, something like this. You flip the bottom, so it becomes 5/4 times the reciprocal, 15/-8. Okay, and then with fractions, you multiply the top and you multiply the bottom, and then it's better if that negative comes up top here. Hey, Julia.
Hi, sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. I'm not sure how much you saw on this last one, so I'll just run through another example here. And we're doing all this because you will see some sort of reciprocal fraction. So let's say it's like -2/3 over, I don't know, -8/9. Okay. So you take the bottom one and you flip it. So it's 9/-8. You just flip, you don't opposite reciprocal, anything like that. And then you multiply the top, multiply the bottom. And then in this case, 18 and 24 are both divisible by 6. They're also both negative, so it becomes 3/4. Again, that's why I recommend at this step right here, when you have -2/3 like this, and you say, oh yeah, like 2 and 8, they go together, put a 4 down there, cancel out the negatives. Oh yeah, 3 and 9 go into one another. So you just get the 3/4 there. This number is bigger, and they're designed in such a way that when they get bigger, it's just more awkward to try and reduce. Again, this is no calculator for the most part when we see it. So why do we do all that? Well, it's to do a question. I'm just going to give you one for review. Maybe we'll do one together. the kind we did last week, and then we'll work on the related question that could be a little more difficult. So let me grab my snipping tool. I'm going to snip in this question. Okay. So here it is. It says, they give you some expression. They say if k equals 5/4, what is the value of 1/a? And we talked about last time this choice here. You could, and you probably should, combine the fraction first on the left. Like you should say, okay, what's the common denominator between 3, 2, and 4? You don't have to get the smallest, but it is preferred. I mean, like 24 would work, but it's not the smallest. And then let me just add a little bit here. So what I'm about to write, you don't want to write when you're doing these problems. And this is something we haven't really talked about yet, but it takes a lot of time to actually write down the operation that you're doing. And what would be better is to actually do what's in blue here, which is to just write down the result. Okay. And the reason is all this writing in red takes time. The less you write, the less time it takes. There's a pretty significant correlation between how much you write and how long each problem takes. So I'll just start pointing some of those things out to you as well. Oh, you're gone again. Hey, Julia.
Hi, sorry about that again. We're trying to Skype with and so I think that's what's happening.
Yeah. Let's just keep going here. This is recorded, as you know, so we can just fill in the gaps later. But so this problem here, 4 plus 6 plus 3 is 13. 13 over 12k equals a, but we want 1 over a. And I remember this last time I said, well, when you want 1 over, so when you want 1 over 13 over 12k, you just flip the fraction. It becomes 12k over 13 equals 1 over a. And now you can put in the 5/4. So you can say 12 times 5/4 over 13. And again, like you can cancel those. So that's 3, and that becomes 15 over 13. Huh? Did I make a mistake somewhere? Give me just a moment here. Oh, the first one is negative. That's the mistake there. Okay. So this is really 9. No, it's really 5. That changes everything. I apologize. 5. That puts a 5 on the bottom there. So it becomes 15 over 5, which is 3. Okay.
Okay.
So let me have you do one. You can write out as much as you want. Don't think that like that's bad. It's just there is some time saving there that comes with this. So let me give you a problem here. You can give it a try here, and we'll see how you do. So I'll check back with you in a minute or two, a couple minutes, see how you're doing on this one.
Okay.
How are you doing on this one?
Um, I'm kind of struggling with finding the multiple with
Okay.
3, 4.
So the shortcut is to just multiply 4 times 3 times 5.
Oh, okay.
And that it's not necessarily the smallest, but it does get you the multiple.
Okay.
Okay. And then the shortcut here also is that if you are trying to figure out what to multiply the 4 by, it's the other two numbers. So it's 15. The 3 you multiply by the 4 and the 5, which is 20.
Mhm.
And then the 5 you do the 4 and the 3, which is 12 there. So let's see here, minus 17 over 60k equals a. So you have to flip it. 60k over minus 17 equals 1 over a. And then take the k value and put it in here. So we got 60 times 4/5 over minus 17. Again, another example of where you really want to divide first. That makes 12. 12 times 4 is 48. So you get that negative goes up top. So it's negative 48 over 17.
Okay.
Yeah, like again, like kind of in like full disclosure, when we work on these problems, I recognize there's no like realistic, there's nothing like, it's not like when you swim and you may actually go swimming someday, like where, or you're
Mhm.
competing or something, like there's literally like, this is just a weird one-off type of question that's helping you develop this skill. But and so, okay, so give this one a try, and then we'll move on to the other question related to this one. Let's see how you do. Okay, how are you doing on this one, Julia?
Um, Good. I got negative 6K over 7.
Okay, so negative 6K over 7 is 1 over A, and then we're going to put in that negative 2/5. Is that right? Or did you didn't? I don't think you already
Oh,
did that yet, right?
wait. Oh, so I got
Or did you go ahead?
so I got negative 7/15 K for A, and then when you flip it, it's 15K over negative 7.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so you got 15K over negative 7 equals 1 over A, and then we put 3, so you get negative 6 over negative 7 or 6 over 7. Good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to look at what a related question here, and this one's a little bit more difficult, but it's the same type of question. So it's like designed so that it's still emphasizing the same skills. So we'll just do one or
Okay.
two here and see. We'll work on this one together. So if 1 over A equals negative 2/5, what is the value of K? So the oddity here is that it's like they're giving you a kind of. So there's a couple ways to look at it. You can look at what I've put in a box and say, oh, A is the reciprocal of the thing on the right, 5 over negative 2, but we know to generally put that negative up top, so we would write it like this. So rather than writing all this, what you really want to be able to do is take what's in the box there and immediately write A equals negative 5 over 2.
Okay.
So now it in some ways it's the same question as before. You take the thing on the left, okay, and then you can actually combine the fraction here like we've been doing. So 2, 3, and 5, that's 30. Okay, and so the 2, you're going to use the 3 and the 5, that's 15. For the 3, you're going to use the 2 and the 5, that's 10. And for the 5, use the 2 and the 3, that's minus 6. Okay, so 15 minus 10 minus 6 is negative 1 over 30K. You have a choice here. You can cross multiply, which is probably a good option. You can also flip the left and flip the right. I guess I would tell you to cross multiply or butterfly here. I think that's probably a good strategy. Negative 2 equals negative 150K. And then divide both sides by negative 150. So 1 over 75 equals K. And that is one of the choices there. But there's actually nothing new about this question.
Mhm.
You have to be comfortable with these reciprocal properties. Like you have
Okay.
to look at this and be like, immediately, this is what A is. Okay, so we're going to try that in the next problem. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna help you step through it. Okay, and I want us to try and do this a little bit without writing stuff down. Okay, so I want you to stare at this on the left here and tell me, what does A equal?
Okay. A equals negative 3/4.
Perfect. Okay. Now out of 1, 5, oops, that doesn't look right. 1, 5, and 2, what is the common denominator?
10.
10. Or what is 1 times 5 times 2? 10. So now the 1, you use the 5 and the 2. So 5 and 2 makes 10 times negative 1 is negative 10.
10.
The
Okay.
5 is missing the 1 and the 2. That's 2 times negative 1 The 2 is missing the 1 and the 5, which is 5. And then there's a negative there, so -5 equals. Okay. So from here, you combine the top. Okay, that's -17 over 10K equals -3/4. And again, probably best to diagonally multiply.
Mhm.
-68 equals -30K. Divide both sides by -30. Okay. And this is where you got to just start reducing. So like 2 goes into both. That's 34 and 15. And that looks like it for both negatives. So the 34 over 15 equals K.
Okay.
Okay. So let me have you try one here. Let me find one that's not super difficult for you to start with. I'm not going to give you the answer space just because I don't want it to be distracting. But let's try this one here. Okay, so I'm going to snip it in. Give yourself a couple minutes here, see if you can work it out on your own, and I'll check back with you shortly.
Okay.
How are you doing on this one?
I got -5/2 equals K.
Ooh, that might be. This, say that one more time.
-5/2.
Okay, you have all the right numbers, but let me just work through this and see if we can figure out what happened here. So did you get A as -2/5?
Yes.
Okay, so your fraction is 2, 3, and 1, so that's 6. And that means it's 3 plus 2 plus 6 on the top. Did you get that?
No, I wasn't really. So how did you like? I don't understand how you get the numbers for the numerator.
I see. I see. So yeah, for the bottom, it's 2 times 3 times 1. That's clear. Now, you
Mhm.
look at this 2 and you ask yourself, what am I missing? The 3 and the 1. 3 times 1 is 3 times this one is 3.
Okay.
And then this middle 3, it's missing a 2 and a 1, 2 times this 1, which is 2. And then the 1, it's missing the 2 and the 3 to get to 6. So you multiply this by 6.
Oh, okay. That makes
Okay.
more sense.
It like, so yeah, it's just because it's 3 fractions that it's slightly more complicated. You should have some peace in knowing that you'll probably only get one with 2 fractions on a real standardized test. This is obviously just made to be harder, but the principles are the same. So it's 11 over 6k equals -2/5. Cross multiply here, 55 equals -12k, divide by -12, and k equals -55 over 12.
Okay.
Okay, let's try one more. We got enough time to one more for sure. And let me try one here. This isn't super crazy difficult. This one looks reasonable. All right, so let me snip it in here. All right.
I got k equals 5.
K equals 5. Okay, yeah, again, real close here. A is 5/4. Okay. You got 1, 2, and 4 on the bottom, so that's 8. Okay, so the 1 is missing the 2 and the 4. That's 8 times this one, 8. The 2 is missing the 1 and the 4, so that's 4, but it's times -1 this time. The 4 is missing the 1 and the 2. 2 times 1 is +2 equals 5/4. So you got 4.
Okay.
So you got 6 over 8k. And I'm guessing probably the numerator is where there was the mistake. Yeah. All right, so then you get 24 equals 40k, divide by 40. Both of these are divisible by 8. 3/5 equals k.
Okay.
All right, so always remember, this is truly practice. Have you ever done yoga?
Yeah.
So they always talk about in yoga how it's practice. And I always ask, like, well, what's the practice for? Well, you're doing practice right now for a real exam that you're going to take. And what we want you to do is do your best on the exam, not necessarily in the practice. Like, so all the stuff you're learning is going to help you do better on the exam. So sometimes you have these lessons where maybe it doesn't go, as perfectly as we want, but just realize the skills you're learning is going to help you when you really have to take the exam. So we'll keep working at it. So we'll take a little break here. I know we got another lesson at 5. I assume we're doing some physics.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, I will see you shortly. Please use that other booking link and for the physics, and I'll see you shortly.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.